All right. If anybody can't see my screen, let me know. All right. So just going to run through. You guys are probably all really familiar with your site, but just a quick overview and then run through our options. So as you'll see, just to kind of orient everybody, here is your school building. Up here on the north end is 115th Street and the area where I think your preschool classes utilize. We've got a parking lot here and then another one on the south and kind of your main play area on the south end at 116th Street. And that's really where a lot of our work is gonna focus on. So we've got two concepts for you. And one thing I do want to mention, part of this process, we do some work other than the fun stuff on the playground. So we will be adding some new fencing at the parking lot and dumpster enclosure. Not the exciting stuff, but those will be included as part of the project. So in concept A, one of the things on the north side we're looking forward to doing is removing some of the asphalt paving that is around this tree and returning it to some grass to give the preschool kids some grass area to run around in. As I mentioned, we're doing a dumpster enclosure, some fencing at this parking lot. And then on the south side is where the majority of our work is going. And you guys will see that we are shrinking the parking lot over here to make room for some of our fun improvements. So in concept A, we are proposing to add some raised garden beds and some movable seating within the courtyard space that you'll see here in the middle. And then as you kind of move southward, we are making this parking lot a little bit smaller. It'll have a little turnaround and the maintain existing ADA parking spots with new fencing and gates into the new play space. And then if you go into the play space, one of the big new features is an artificial turf multi-use field here. So this could be lined for sports or just kind of used for any sort of activity. And then in the center here, we have a playground space, and you'll see it's kind of mimicked after lily pad, hopping. And so that wetland feel is where partners with MWRD and Open Lands, we're really trying to encourage nature and learning in this space. So kind of bringing that into the play elements as well with the lily pads and some of the other elements. And then as you'll see, there's a nice track lined area or walking loop around the artificial turf and the playground space. Up here on the north side next to the building is an outdoor classroom space. And then over on the right side, we've got some basketball, half-court basketball. And then along the south side are some rain garden spaces with landscaping and some rock gardens and some interpretive signage so kids can understand what's going on there. So just quick kind of blow up some of the space. Here's a little bit of an enlargement, and then I'm going to run through each space individually. So as you can see, artificial turf is wonderful grass you don't have to mow. So that'll be a cushion space for kids to play in this area. And we're really trying to incorporate, some walking space around. So you'll have this nice loop here, which you'll see in some of the photos are just some representations of what that space could look like with, the idea is that this is going to be asphalt surfacing with some color coat or color paint to add some interest to the site. And then for the playground area, we have a playground concept here, and this will be all incorporated on that poured rubber surfacing. So that's it's a unitary surfacing. It's squishy, impact resistant. So that'll be in this entire area, and we can add some fun colors and designs to that space. And then the play equipment itself, it's split into two. In the front here, you'll see is a structure that's more geared towards those preschool kids. So we've got some lower slides and climbers that are easier for those younger kids. And then in the middle area here, we have two group swings, and these are kind of an updated version to a tire swing. So lots of, as you can see here, lots of kids can jump on and play. And then this over on the right is a group spinner. It's ADA accessible. It provides back support, but again, a lot of kids can jump on. Again, another update to a classic merry-go-round. And then on the other side here, you've got this fun 5 to 12 structure, and this is going to be for your older kids. It's got higher slides. This climber here is one of my favorites. It's an overhead climber, but then it has bars underground, so it kind of really utilizes that space, and you kind of get both, you know, lots of spaces to play. And then we've got climbers and musical instruments, really, and here's from the other side, there's some climbers on both sides, so lots of fun activities for the older kids. And then there are also two individual spinners, although you can see here there's two kids climbing over or using it at the same time. And then another element that we have incorporated in this concept is an outdoor classroom space. And this space, we'd like to use permeable pavers with some, again, signage, and these are pavers that allow water to infiltrate into the ground. And so again, just another teaching moment for the kids, and then some outdoor seating for kids to do their homework, have classroom space, or just to hang out and relax. And then we've included 3 of these shade sails to offer a little bit of shade in the playground space. And this is just a couple examples of some seating, colorful, fun seating we can include. And then over on the right side, as I mentioned, we incorporated 2 half-court basketball, just some areas for kids to throw some basketballs around and use the space. Finally, one of the things that we always love to do is include painted games throughout the space, Foursquare, hopscotch, some mazes. We have lots of different options included. So there's lots of activities and really utilizing some of the asphalt paving that's out there. And finally, that courtyard space I mentioned before. So we do have a few raised planter beds to help you know, nourish and grow that food, but also some more activities for the kids, and then some seating. As you'll see, this is completely enclosed space that classrooms look out onto. So just some extra areas for kids to relax and hang out in. And then finally, on the south side, as I mentioned, one of our main goals is to capture rainwater and to really help educate the kids on this. So we've included, you'll see these kind of river of rocks here that will be surrounded by native plantings and some signage for the kids to really help capture that rainwater and offer an educational experience. All right, so that is concept A. Moving on to concept B, we've got very similar stuff happening on the north side, parking lot, still shrinking the parking lot on the south side on this one a little bit. And as you'll see, it's got a little bit of different layout. So on this concept, we've got a little bit bigger artificial turf field with a track just around that. On the east side, we have playground space with the outdoor classroom kind of tucked in between the playground and the artificial turf field. And then we have that surrounded by painted games and a drop shot here on the south side, which I'll talk about in a second. Still have a little bit of basketball court over here north of the playground, a fun maze or place for kids to line up. And then on this concept, we have the rain garden up next to the building with some connections for those door access. So here's just a quick blow up of that. And then as we get in, as I mentioned, this concept has a little bit bigger artificial turf field with, again, that walking loop around. So very similar, just size difference on this one. And then for the playground, this one still has two separate structures. This right here in the front is the 2 to 5, or that kind of younger preschool structure. Again, it's going to have the lower decks, easier climbers, a little bit more imaginative play for that younger kids. And then here front we have these, they're fun, they're called saddle spinners for kids to sit and spin around in. And then on this concept, instead of the group swings, we have a swing set similar to what is out there now with the belt swings and then one ADA swing access. Over here is your 5 to 12. The older kids play structure, lots of nets, lots of climbers, higher slides here, balance beam, and then this over here is also a spinner where kids can grab up high and spin around. So trying to incorporate a lot of different elements and loops for the kids to play in. We've also in this concept added some musical elements, which are great for the younger kids as well as the older kids. You know, we've set it off a little to the side so that it can, you know, if kids don't want to be in the big mix of everybody else, they've kind of got a separate corner to go and, you know, experience that kind of sensory play. And then on this outdoor classroom, a little bit different seating, kind of creating some other fun pods and benches and some back seating as well as these chalkboard panels. So if you want to have a classroom experience outside, you guys can, or it's just a fun experience for kids to, just another place for kids to play. And that will be located between the playground and the track, as you'll see here. And that has concrete paving, so it's kind of helped define that space a little bit better. And then in this one, we have up to the north of the playground, one half-court basketball hoop, a kind of a classic hoop. And then as I mentioned earlier, this kind of fun rainbow down here is a drop shot. And so it's another place for kids to throw balls. If you guys aren't familiar, you throw the ball on the top and then there are 3 or 4 holes, so you don't know where the ball is going to come out. So it's just kind of another experience to get kids out and playing without kind of having that classic basketball hoop. And then again, as in the other concept, really want to provide a diverse group of games of hopscotch and Foursquare and mazes to just provide as many opportunities of places to play out in the new play space we're proposing. So for the rain garden on this one, as I mentioned, it is up on the north side along the building there, which has a couple, so it'll be very similar to the other one where there'll be a nice dry riverbed with rocks and native landscape around it. But there are a few emergency doors that we want to make sure provide access out of. So we have a little small bridge that will cross over that dry riverbed on the one side. And this not only provide emergency access to that door, but also allow kids to kind of walk out and get a little bit of up close and personal with that rain garden experience. So this is an image of what that bridge could look like. So finally, just kind of an overview back to show you the 2 different concepts.